Hi, I'm Deb and welcome back to the Smitten Kitchen. Today I'm making my one-pan farro, an easy, saucy, and delicious recipe that converts all of the whole grain skeptics, including yourself. So today we're cooking with farro, dried. We've got some cherry tomatoes, Parmesan cheese, a white onion, we're just going to use half of this, salt, olive oil, garlic, some pepper flakes, and basil. The inspiration for this is a one-pan pasta dish that went viral from Martha Stewart a bunch of years ago, and it was developed by a food stylist named Finley. In that dish, you take your pasta, have cherry tomatoes, onion, garlic, and you cook it all together, and in a little while you have perfectly cooked, perfectly sauced pasta. I liked it on spaghetti, but I like it even more on this whole grain. We're using 1 cup. This is 2 half cups. Give it a little rinse, and it goes right into the pot with the 2 cups of water we're gonna cook it with. And I just set this aside while I prepare the rest of the ingredients. We use half of a white onion. It's going to look like so much onion. In the cooking time, it really melts into the sauce with a sweetness and mellowness. There's no bite to it. It's really the perfect amount. I haven't had anyone come back to me and tell me that it tasted like there was too much onion in the dish. So trust it. Hopefully I'm not gonna cry too much today, but we'll see. It's early. I cut it very thin. Whenever you talk about onions making your eyes water, it's getting dusty in here. I hear all these tricks on the internet, like you're supposed to try lighting a match or lighting a candle or like freeze the onion for 30 minutes. And I've tried them all and I'm still sobbing when I cut onions. So I just roll with the process. As you finish cutting each ingredient, you can throw it directly in the pot. So I just put the onion in. Next, I'm gonna slice up the garlic. Obviously you can use more if you like a lot of garlic, but I find that the 2 cloves really perfumes it nicely. So I like to cut everything thin because I think when it cooks, it gets a nice silky, saucy texture. Silky, saucy texture. Silky, saucy texture. Super easy. I'm using cherry tomatoes today, but you can easily use grape tomatoes or whatever your grocery store has. This recipe is so forgiving. Even if it's the dead of the winter and the grape tomatoes in your grocery store don't look good at all, I'm just gonna have them all and toss them in as I'm done. All right, so the next I'm gonna add salt. You're gonna wanna use a little over a teaspoon here because we wanna season the whole dish with it. And I'm gonna add pepper flakes. Usually I add about 1/4 teaspoon, but I recently got these amazing habanero pepper flakes and they're crazy hot and I wanna make sure my family still eats it. So we're just gonna go with a little pinch or 2, but you can adjust the heat to your preference. And then I'm gonna add a drizzle of olive oil, about 1 tablespoon. I'm gonna give this a quick stir and I'm gonna put it on the stove. And I am going to bring it to a boil, and then once it's boiling, I'm gonna reduce it to a gentle simmer, and it's gonna simmer for 30 minutes. The glass pot is not required, but it is kind of fun to watch your food cook, right? My kids get a kick out of it. The tomatoes are gonna break down and become saucy. The onions are gonna melt into kind of a slippery sweetness, and the farro is gonna soften, but it also has a lot more flavor. There's a nuttiness to it. It has this quality that'll remind you of a great pasta dish. This recipe was published in 2013 on my site, and there are 878 comments on it. For the doubters, I want you to know that the onion and garlic soften in the boiling water. I could not discern any bite from the onions. The key is the magic combination of fresh basil, good quality olive oil, garlic, fresh tomatoes, and freshly grated Parmesan. It tasted like the essence of summer. I love comments that evoke the mood you want to feel. I feel like we always talk about cooking in this really practical way, like how did it work and what you have to do to get there. And nobody talks about like the experience of like how good it feels to make something you're really proud of. I feel like you made this. You just took like chewy whole grains that look like something that you should eat and you turned them into something that you want to eat. Erica says, I've made this many times since you posted it, but tonight it struck me that you really need a recipe category called Things That You Can Cook While You Chill and Drink Wine, because that's just what I did. 10 minutes prep, half an hour of drinking wine on the couch equaled a much happier post-work Monday for me. It makes me feel so very verklempt, honestly. Like, I feel it's very emotional. When I was rereading the comments on this, I loved seeing that somebody said they use, instead of basil and Parmesan, that they often do mint and feta in the summer, and they serve it at room temperature, kind of like a picnic salad. Oh, that sounded really nice. While I just give this 3 or 4 more minutes, I'm gonna go and chop up some basil to finish it. Okay, there we go. And that's it. I just made dinner. We're gonna do a little drizzle of olive oil, and we're gonna grate some Parmesan over. Although again, you can skip this if you'd like it to be fully vegan. And then a little basil on top. You can put a little salt, a little pepper, you know. I think it would be pretty with some pepper flakes. It's so good. The tomato sauce is kind of tart and sweet. The onions are so mellow. There's a nice little kick from the pepper flakes. The cheese is just so nice to pull it together. And the basil is so fresh. It tastes so summery. You can just make this and eat a giant bowl of it exactly like this. Or you could serve it as a side. You could add grilled sausages. I've also heard from people who put beans in for more protein. So there's so many things you can do with it, but it really just tastes like this amazing bite of summer. You're gonna love it. You should make this. You should make this right now. Would you eat it?
Yes.
Do you eat it?
Yes.
Do you want to learn how to make it?
Yes.
You should watch my cooking video on YouTube.
No.
Savage.
Yum.
How is it?
Good.
Okay.
And thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.
See, he does it in one shot. I take 12. This recipe has been around for a few years on my site, and if you've made it before, leave us a comment. Let us know how you make it, how you tweak it, what you serve it with, and we'll see you back here next week with something, if possible to imagine, even more delicious.